California has been long renowned to have experienced a severe drought. However, according to an article published by the Los Angeles Times, they claim that California has experienced its wettest month in recent history, and thus the state of Southern California isn't sure whether to expect a shortage or surplus in the year ahead. The Los Angeles Times then further elaborated that despite these atmospheric changes, the region remains under a droughty emergency declaration and includes mandatory water restrictions for about 6 million people in and around Los Angeles. So California has experienced its wettest season yet due to its consistent rain in the earlier part of 2023. However, despite the drought relief, it shouldn't impede on the preservation of its water supply. So with that said, I will be discussing the problems in regard to California's drought brought on by causes such as climate change to further explore the solutions on better preparing ourselves for further drought conditions. So California has been dealing with a constant state of remaining in a drought. And with this constant drought that we've been dealing with for many, many years, it has brought on a lot of severe issues. According to Nature Communications, in an article published on October 21st of 2015, they claim that California has experienced its most severe drought in recorded history, causing statewide stress, severe economic loss, and an extraordinary increase in wildfires. The article then further elaborated that as of mid-November 2014, the majority of reservoirs in California were extremely low. Lake Oroville, the second largest reservoir in California, lay at 26% of its full capacity, despite being at 90% in April of 2013. A drought state of emergency was then declared in California in January 2014 in response to historic water shortfalls as well as increasing numbers of wildfires. The total statewide economic cost of 2013 to 14 is estimated at $2.2 billion, with a total loss of 17,100 jobs. And to further add on to the evidence, according to Tennessee Tribune, in an article published on May 12th of 2022, the 2021 drought created very dry conditions in the northern part of the state that increased the amount of water needed to irrigate the dry soil. Even so, about 400,000 acres were left to idle, resulting in $1.1 billion in lost revenue, and 8,745 jobs were lost within the farm industry. So it's quite clear that this constant state that we've been in has brought on a lot of severe issues, like the loss of jobs, the loss of a lot of money, as well as the increase in natural disasters such as wildfires, as well as the reduction of water supply and the reduction of water within our local lake reservoirs as well. And if we look at the numbers, it's quite clear that we have been dealing with this for a very, very long time, from 2013 all the way up to 2022. And we're very fortunate to be able to experience a drought relief. However, I don't think that should impede on the preservation of our water supply, because weather tends to fluctuate a lot. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it's very hot, sometimes it's very, very cold, and it's very hard to tell where we will be in a number of years. And so I think we should continue to preserve water. But before diving into solutions on how we can better prepare ourselves for these future conditions, I think we should get to know what we're up against. And what better way to do so than by getting to know the causes of droughts. According to Nature Communications, in an article published on October 21st of 2015, they concluded the effects of global warming on the regional climate include hotter and drier climate, as well as earlier snowmelt, both of which exacerbate drought conditions. And according to Bay Nature, in an article published on October 1st, 2014, they claim that climate change exacerbates the effects of drought through high temperatures and the resulting increase in evapotranspiration, which is the loss of moisture within the atmosphere. When it's hot, moisture evaporates at a faster rate, and less water is therefore available for us to drink. And according to Indian Agricultural News, published in a newspaper article on November 25th of 2022, they stated that these types of droughts would only happen once every 400 years across the northern hemisphere, if not for human-caused climate change. So there are two places to blame, or two things to blame, I should say. One is humans. We are the number one source of the emission of greenhouse gases, along with plants, but that's another story for another time, which contributes to the increase in temperatures brought on by climate change. And so with that said, it's kind of out of our control at this point. We've contributed to climate change, which contributes to high temperatures, thus decreasing the number of water that's available. And so I think coming to terms with accepting that we can't really do much about this, we can't really change the state of weather that we're in, and like I said, weather does tend to fluctuate a lot, so that is largely out of our control. However, what we can do is learn to preserve our water better. And a way to do that, we can look to Ellis County Press, in which they published an article on July 22nd of 2021, and they claim that landscape irrigation increases water use by 35 to 75%. And according to Santa Fe Reporter in an article published on January 29th of 2020, they claim that installing aerators in the kitchen and bathroom in restaurants reduced water use. In the first year, 1.5 million gallons of water was potentially saved, with a reduction of 45,000 gallons of water being preserved. So if we look at the numbers, installing aerators and looking to land irrigation greatly reduces the number of water being used. And I think if we took the time to maybe install an aerator within our own home, we can greatly preserve our water, thus preparing us for future drought conditions. And with that said, California has been very fortunate enough to experience a lot of rain. However, due to California remaining in a constant state of being in a drought, I don't think it should impede on our water preservation skills or the things that we've been doing to continue saving water, because we don't know where we're going to be in a couple years. So I think if we apply the installation of aerators within our kitchens and our bathrooms and within local restaurants, and apply land irrigation within our own lands, we can better be prepared for future drought conditions. Thank you.